English through stories. Intermediate English. The story of Christian Dior. What if beauty could rebuild a broken world? In this story, you will learn English through the life of Christian Dior, the man who turned war-torn Paris into the center of elegance again. Discover how vision, art, and courage created timeless fashion. Don't just study English, live it through stories. Early roots. Christian Dior was born on January 21st, 1905, in Granville, Normandy, France. He was the second of 5 children in a wealthy family that owned a fertilizer business. Dior grew up in a beautiful seaside villa called Les Rums, surrounded by gardens and art that would later inspire his designs. Diplomat or artist? His parents wanted him to become a diplomat, but Dior dreamed of being an artist. He sold his fashion sketches on the streets of Paris to make a living. This was the start of his journey toward a creative life, one that mixed beauty, elegance, and imagination. Art and the crash. With help from his father, Dior opened an art gallery featuring artists like Salvador Dali and Jean Cocteau. But after the 1929 financial crash, his father lost everything, and the gallery closed. Dior was left without money, but still full of ideas. Sketches to fashion. Dior began working as a fashion illustrator for magazines and designers. In 1938, he joined designer Robert Piguet, who taught him about elegance, simplicity, and how clothing could express emotion. It was Dior's first real step into the world of haute couture, high fashion handmade for private clients. A world at war. When World War II began, Dior served in the French army. After France surrendered, he returned to Paris and worked for Lucien Lelong's fashion house, creating dresses for wealthy clients and the wives of Nazi officers. He focused on creation, not politics. Life during war. Fabric was rationed and fashion became simple and practical. But Dior continued learning about structure, tailoring, and balance. These hard years sharpened his eye and made him dream of a post-war world filled with beauty again. A bold decision. In 1946, Dior met wealthy businessman Marcel Boussac, who offered to finance a new fashion house. Dior accepted, opening Maison Christian Dior, a new couture house at 30 Avenue Montaigne in Paris. It was a risky move in a recovering economy, but a bold one. The first team. The new couture house began with about 80 employees and strong creative freedom for Dior. He wanted to rebuild not just fashion, but French pride, showing that beauty and craftsmanship could restore hope after the war. The first show. On February 12, 1947, Dior presented his first collection, called Corolle and Ensuite. His models walked in long, full skirts and soft shoulders, an entirely new vision of femininity. The audience was stunned. The new look. Harper's Bazaar editor Carmel Snow exclaimed, "It's such a new look." The phrase stuck. Dior's new look replaced the short, boxy wartime dresses with a silhouette of luxury, tiny waists, full skirts, and celebration of the female form. Return of elegance. The new look represented rebirth. Women felt elegant and beautiful again after years of struggle. Critics said the designs used too much fabric, but most saw them as symbols of freedom and joy. Global attention. The collection made headlines around the world. Paris had reclaimed its crown as the heart of fashion. Dior's name became synonymous with luxury, sophistication, and the revival of French style. Miss Dior. That same year, Dior launched Miss Dior perfume, named after his sister, Catherine, who had survived a Nazi concentration camp. The scent represented love, freedom, and the feminine spirit, an invisible accessory for every woman. A growing empire. Soon, Dior expanded into hats, shoes, jewelry, and cosmetics. By the early 1950s, his house accounted for over half of France's couture exports. Dior had built not just a brand, but a global symbol of elegance. Art meets business. Dior combined creativity with business strategy. He licensed his designs internationally, a new idea at the time. This made high fashion more accessible and turned Dior into one of the richest names in luxury design. Global style. His new look defined women's fashion in the 1950s. From Paris to New York to Tokyo, his hourglass silhouette became the dream of elegance. Dior didn't just sell clothes, he sold confidence and beauty. Future legends. Dior trained some of the greatest designers of the 20th century. Pierre Cardin worked for him early on, and in 1955, a young Yves Saint Laurent joined as his assistant. Dior recognized talent and nurtured it. Cultural icon. By the mid-1950s, Dior had become a symbol of glamour. His dresses appeared on royals, movie stars, and in Hollywood films. Women around the world wanted to look like Dior. His influence shaped an entire era. Challenges and change. Dior kept innovating, introducing new silhouettes like the A-line, H-line, and Y-line. He showed that even the most successful designer must evolve. His ability to reinvent himself kept Dior at the top. Fame and pressure. The fame was enormous, but so was the pressure. Dior felt responsible for hundreds of workers and the reputation of French fashion itself. Yet, despite the stress, he remained gentle, polite, and deeply artistic. The end of an era. On October 24, 1957, Christian Dior died suddenly in Italy from a heart attack. He was only 52. The world of fashion mourned. Newspapers called it the end of an era. But Dior's dream lived on. A new beginning. Just 21 years old, Yves Saint Laurent became the new head designer. His debut collection paid tribute to Dior's soft femininity, but added modern lines. The house survived and thrived, thanks to the foundation Dior had built. Beyond couture. Over time, Dior evolved into a global powerhouse. Clothing, perfume, handbags, watches, and makeup. Every product carried the same DNA, elegance, detail, and refinement. Dior became a lifestyle, not just a label, but Dior knew that true elegance couldn't be confined to a dress. It had to be breathed, remembered, and lived. The scent of Dior. From elegance in fabric to elegance in scent, Dior's vision extended far beyond the runway. Miss Dior captured love and freedom. J'adore embodied modern femininity. Dior Homme expressed quiet strength and sophistication. Sauvage revealed raw power and independence. Each fragrance told a story of beauty, confidence, and timeless desire. Dior's enduring influence. Christian Dior transformed fashion into a dream industry. He proved that vision, discipline, and imagination could rebuild beauty after destruction. By fusing art with commerce, he showed that creativity can move economies, inspire nations, and heal hearts. His new look still shapes design today, reminding the world that elegance is eternal and style, at its best, is a form of hope. What about you? Christian Dior rebuilt beauty from ruins. If everything fell apart, what dream would you rebuild first? Share your thoughts in the comments to remind others that hope, like style, can always be created again. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more fun English lessons.